find probably one. And no one's surprised. Mind is a terrible thing to have. Yes, we're the very exciting part of the stream. Let's say we get this thing started. It is a Thursday night, and I am a Screaming Wyvern. I call myself Wyvern because, like a dragon, I hoard role playing games. I'm also slightly unbalanced and occasionally toxic, and tonight, speaking of toxins, I will be brewing potions. Kind of a funny thing is that I was enticed by the siren's call of the Steam summer sale, ashamed as I am to admit it. And one of the games that I enjoy the most is a little one called what is it called? I've already forgotten. Potion Craft. And so I thought, hey, why don't I go ahead and find something that's going to make me feel the way that is for anyone who is new here to my channel. Solo role playing games span several styles. Mostly comes down to a role playing game type experience where you have a character and a story which you are not completely in control of, but there is no actual separate game master to choose where you go or why. So there are some that are kind of like the good old um, choose your own adventure books of old, and there are those that are more akin to your classic Dungeons and Dragons, where you go ahead and roll dice to do everything. And tonight we're kind of doing one of those more storyteller type games. So this is Mortar and Pestle by Slug People Games. I swear that's what they decided to call themselves. Pull this up on the main system. Potion Brewing solo role playing game. I am streaming for the first time on TikTok, so we'll see how quickly I become annoying. But of course, if I start staring into space, that's because I've got too many little channels in front of me. Let's go ahead and get started with the rules. Designed and illustrated by Relane Hastings, written by Relane Hastings and Samuel Rickard Hastings, and edited by Bob Hastings. I did drop them a note before on Tuesday, but unfortunately they didn't get back to me. I was hoping they'd be able to give me some trivia about the creation, but maybe I'll be able to add that in later. Okay. The Wastelands. In the Wastelands, magic is a part of the earth, just as the streams and forests and mountains are. Magical ingredients found all over the region can be transformed or broken down and brewed into potions. At its core, magic consists of at least one of the four elements: sunlight, which is represented by clubs, moonglow, the diamond, wind, the spade, and soil, the heart. You are one of the few witches left in the wastelands. Just over 100 years ago, this region was home to peaceful, bustling communities. Magic makers of all sorts dwelt here, producing potions and other items from the region's rare ingredients. They sold their goods to people near and far. But then a force of unknown origins swept over and seared the land. Known as the Great Rift, it split the wasteland into three distinct biomes: green wood, the forest, the mire, a swamp, and the dragon spine, which are mountains. The scorched lands that separate these biomes are impassable except by air. So we have some lovely little maps. I'm going to make sure that those can be seen on the littler screen. As you can see, all the maps are broken into sections, which are matching our different card suits. So this whole section here of the mire is going to be grassy soil. These are windy areas, and these are sunny areas. And I'm not completely sure why the water is where we pick up the moon glow, but I suppose it reflects, so why not? Um, so this is a cozy, low stakes role playing game, which definitely seems like what we all want nowadays. You start the game with a broomstick, which you will require potions to operate. In your home, you also have a cauldron, a mortar and pestle, sugar glass bottles to store potions, and other necessary alchemical equipment. Sugar glass does not sound like something that's useful for a long period of storage, but uh, I'm not a witch in the real world, so I don't know these things. To play this game, you will need the following materials: a standard set of 52 playing cards, including the Jokers, which you can see on my tabletop simulator I've got set out. Two six-sided dice, also there. A game token or other small item to represent my character. A journal or other device, such as, live streaming to various and sundry places. To jot down your notes and adventures. The previously mentioned hex maps, character sheet, and a printable playmat. I have the character sheet open in front of me, but it's not really that exciting right now. So, setup. Separate the jokers from your deck of playing cards and place them face up in a row in front of your play area. I do have those. Let me get the PDF. Can I move you to the other side? No, I can't do that. Oh well. Get this opened on my. Ooh. I've got great big views of PDFs going on my main screen, and I did not mean to do that. Where are you coming from? Go away. There you are. Okay. So yeah, supposed to put those different suits into their own piles, which I've done. I've got the maps out and ready to go. Let's see here. So, shuffle each stack of cards. I'll go ahead and do that, even though I did it a few times before. Just so that Tabletop Simulator can be properly advertised. And then place the 3 hex maps in front of me. So if I ever run out of cards in a stack, I will shuffle its discard pile and use it as my new deck. But I also have the jokers, which are a special purpose. Okay, step 1. We are going to go ahead and make me, or more to the point, we are going to go ahead and create a character for me to be playing. Go ahead and bring this back up, and we can see. Obviously, I'm going to be extremely boring and just call myself Wyvern because it's on the wood behind me. So why not just go with that name? So our first question is, describe your home. Do you live in a house or some other structure? What does your home look and feel like? Let's go ahead and keep this all sorts of randomized. And we will go ahead and roll this lovely little die. And our witch wyvern is going to be, I don't even know what that number is. They live in a hut in the mire. The mire is the swampland area, which is not actually visible there. Let's go ahead and put that right in the middle. A hut. Perfectly valid place. Now I'm going to choose exactly where. Oh, come on. You can grow bigger than that. Scale. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and put their hut right here in the middle of the water. Or between the 2 lakes, more to the point. And now we are going to create the backstory for this character. This character will be... You are a 1. A newbie. Someone who has just started learning the alchemy. Source of magical knowledge. Let's go ahead and use the other die for a change of pace. This is going to be, well, there we go. They are a former apprentice to a witch. that is a fantastic way for you to learn how to make things. Okay, of course I want a creature companion. I don't know if it'll come up. I don't know if it'll be important, but by God, we're going to get one. We have decided, or the dice have decided, that I will have a fox as a familiar. All right, so that is what we are starting this little chat with, or this little game with. We are playing a game about Wyvern because I'm uncreative. A witch who lives in a hut in the mire, who just started learning alchemy because they were a former witch apprentice. Hello to all the people who are saying hello and thank you. Okay, let's see what our next step is. Okay. Oh, we are going to go ahead and personalize the broomstick. That is a very silly thing to do. Determine the type of wood you want to use for your broom. So they want me to go ahead and use both dice. Let's do that. Okay. The witch's broom for the day will be made of peach wood. I have no idea how effective peach wood would or would not be with regards to using as a witch's broomstick, but this is what I have. What is the main exciting feature of the broomstick? Well, it is that it has, well, this seems perfectly logical. It has flames painted on it. Because, as we all know, flames make everything go faster. Let's have a quick water break. Okie dokie. So that means that it is now time for me to actually start playing the darn game. The game starts being played at the character's home. I want, let's see, close you for a moment. I am going to go ahead and see if I can find a little hexagonal. Don't actually want, no. I just wanted you to be there. How rude. Okay, fine. I can just remember this. Okay. So this is my home square. Can I draw on the home square? No, I can't. That draws underneath it. Tabletop Simulator is absolutely fantastic 90% of the time, and when it stops being fantastic, it's really annoying. But it is the absolute best for this kind of what's the phrase? Laissez-faire adventure. Okay, so I don't need you. Back to the scene. Okay, so I do not currently have any materials to make potions with, and it is not the end of the day yet. So I can move one space any direction that I want. If I have a free joker, I can also move anywhere in the heart area. Or I can go anywhere I want on a different map. So, let's go ahead and put my person right there. Next thing we do, we are in the heartlands of the mire. So I am going to have an encounter. The encounter will happen by me rolling these two dice and seeing what luck decides that I am going to run into. The number is 5, which means, all I have to do is find an ingredient. You are in my way. You are an ingredient. I usually need 3. Whoops. I'm trying to shuffle this one card. I usually need 3 items to get to create a potion. Theoretically, these jokers can be used as any ingredient, but that's not. They also have other abilities, so that's not necessarily the best plan. And then, yeah, it looks like I just go ahead and continue that until I am ready to do something. So, the purpose of this game is my character goes around, they collect ingredients, they make potions from those ingredients, and from those potions, what they have ingredientified, they create. Well, they help people that hopefully they run across during their explorations. If we go ahead and show off, like I said, I'm in the heart region of the mire. So you roll 2d6 to do your encounters, and that is 2 or 3 is find an ingredient, 5 is find an ingredient, 9 is find an ingredient, 11 and 12 is find an ingredient. So, if you're familiar with the way that 2d6 works, you really are going to end up mostly getting the 6, 7, 8. So as you can see, these are kind of negative things. But if we get a 10, then we acquire a customer who is going to be someone who is actually looking to reward me for the creation of my potions. With that being said, I am going to go ahead and take a moment to make that custom hex-shaped tile. What do I want to use? I'll go ahead and just use another copy of the playmat. All I want to do is just have something that I can use. No, you have to go smaller than that. Thank you. To mark that I chose this as the home point. All right. Straighten that out because I am finicky about how beautiful my tabletop is. So, I think that I am going to go ahead and take a step down into the diamond section. So that is going to give me a different class of ingredient, which then I can use for a different type of potion. So we pull up the diamonds and we roll the dice and let's see what happens. That is a 10. A thunderstorm rolls in, move back one space, and roll for a new encounter. So I just go back to where I started. That is tragic for me. And when I go back there, 5. Pause in the shade of a rocky outcropping. If you wish, you may rest here. See page 28. Well, page 28 doesn't seem to be on my options. Saving your game between sessions. Let's see. Yeah, that's just basically taking notes so that you can stop playing for a bit. Which I am not ready to do yet. By God, I gave myself 2 hours planned, and 2 hours will I play. Okay, so it didn't work out very well when I tried to go into the diamond region before, but let's go ahead. I assume that I am in a lovely little boat, hopefully with some kind of lovely little rowing mechanism, but I don't guarantee that. 7. A heron takes off with one of your sugar glass. That's very rude. Specimen guards. Discard an ingredient from your hand in random. However, it's not really that random because I only have the one ingredient. Okay. So I'm going to stay. I might as well stay in this section. Let's go ahead and pick up the entire board instead of just my token. That's exactly how we want to do it. And we'll do our encounter roll again. And this time we will get an 8. A heron, probably the same one, flies overhead, catching your eye. You watch it land gracefully in the water. If it's actually sugar glass, then it's probably eaten whatever it was. I have a list of what ingredient could possibly be. A king. A king wants to go outside. A king is salt. So sugar glass filled with salt. Probably not the best plan, but yeah. If the heron wants to eat salt, who am I to stop it? I mean, according to the story of the game, I'm a witch, but that may not, be enough for them. Okay. Back along the water. Go ahead and grab another die roll. Never completely sure about these dice. They look nice. Ooh, that was flip. There we go. 7. So that would be the heron. Apparently, it liked the salt jar. Apparently, that made it happy. So it is going to continue eating my ingredients, except I don't have anything for it to do. So, okay. I will move into this new area just in case I can find a change of pace, since the waterlands do not seem to like me. 10. A winged creature leads you to a potential client. Acquire a customer. Let's go ahead. page left intentionally blank, which doesn't make it too useful. Okay, when you encounter a new customer, roll one six-sided die and refer to its value in the customer table. Okay, so I will make a note over here. Customer 1 is a traveler who, if I can help them, will give me 2 potions of broom juice. Broom juice being what I need to go from, say, the mire to Greenwood or whatever other location I want to go. Not that my TikTok people can see the other options, but so 2 bottles of broom juice, offering 2 bottles broom juice. If I can save them from their hideous malady, let's go ahead and see what the dice say before we find out what exactly it means. It's an 11. An 11 is they are prone to dehydration. I suppose that if we have a potion which is designed to make magical brooms, magically broom, probably not the best thing to be drinking. So if they were traveling through this mire here and they specifically ran out of liquid, might have tried to sample potions which were not for that purpose. And for some reason, all I can think of right now is jokes about what happens if you drink the inside of a snow globe. Curing their dehydration. So I need to get them a thing of something called a fuzzy leaf broth. Okay. Fuzzy leaf broth. Wow. Fuzzy leaf broth is a magical potion which will soothe an upset stomach. It will fight off gastrointestinal infections, and it will help with dehydration. All of which sound like extremely useful things. So that requires 4 or more cards, including diamonds. Jot that down. Diamonds. So I need at least 1 diamond card, which is not necessarily the most useful since I am not right now in a diamond area. That can be fixed. Let's go ahead and take our move. And we roll the dice to see what happens. This is an 8. We are in the mire. We are on a spade space. A magical creature chases you through the sand. What is it? Smash a potion bottle of your choice to confuse it. If you have no potions to smash, how do you get away? So this is my opportunity to go ahead and come up with a little story for our witch. So I'm going to go ahead and pop back up. I'll do it on another screen. The main element, such as it is, that affects the spade marked regions is wind. So we are definitely dealing with some kind of flying creature. Now, the one thing that I do have well, besides a predisposition that anytime there's a character that needs to be named or a random monster that has to be selected, is to call it a wyvern. So obviously, our witch is being chased by a wyvern because I need a statistical like that. I am chasing myself. It all makes sense. Um, I have the ability to use one of these to teleport myself anywhere in marked with the same color. So that is how I am escaping from the aforementioned wyvern by just getting my ass out of there. So we'll go ahead and move me down there. Okay, new encounter, same region. 3. Thankfully, this is find an ingredient. So let's go ahead and put that there. It is a 2 of spades, which, according to the rules, makes it a twig. I have picked up a twig. All this work for a twig. I've done more for stupider, I'm sure. All right. I have moved back into the heart region. Go ahead and hit the right button. That's always a good idea. Hit the right button. That is an 11, which is... I'm not on that page anymore. Which is still find an ingredient. So I can go ahead and minimize you. So I can stack you on top of there. 4. Oh, no, I wanted you up there. A 4 is a seed of some kind. Hearts are... Hearts represent soil, so... Okay, a mushroom seed, a spore, or something like that. That's probably the best we're going to get. Okay. I have zoomed in on accident. Let's go ahead and get that back. Bring back up the screen. So I need diamonds. I need 4 ingredients. So I'm going to start working my way back to the witch's cottage. Go ahead and roll a couple of dice with that, and that is a 10. Oh, I do not need to do this. According to the nice little chart, I spot footprints in the mud and follow them, which means I am fortunate enough to get another customer. So, customer 2. We're going to find out what kind of man, woman, thing, yes, no, we are dealing with. This is another traveler, just like the last one. That's fair, honestly. They are willing to give me an ingredient, offering 1 ingredient from any suit if I will only save them from their dire malady of 4. They are allergic to fairy dust. What have you done that you have... This has become a situation for you. You should not be messing with fairies. If there is one thing you take away from tonight's game, it's that you do not mess with fairies. For curing their allergy to fairy dust. And that requires a potion called Iron Mist. What is Iron Mist, you may ask? Well, I ask that too because it's pretty pertinent to playing this game. Okay, Iron Mist is literally just something which cures fairy dust allergies. So, this requires 3 or more cards. Including Queen and Spades. So I do currently have a spade card I can use as an ingredient, but that doesn't help me with the other half of it. So I'm still looking for ingredients for our first person. Now we have a second person that we're trying to help. I can use this other Joker as a wild card, but I kind of like the idea of having it on hand for any problematic situations. Okay. I am in the diamond region of the mire again, or still. Get that encounter table brought back up. And this is 5. Find an ingredient. That is a perfectly acceptable. We don't want the entire deck, we just want the top card. A 5, which is. Take a snapshot of this one page. There we go. And if I go back to my list of ingredients, a 5 is apparently a seed. Okay, I already looked that one up. Around there. There's chats. Okay. So I now have a stack of 3 cards. Let's keep looking in this region. 610. You happen upon someone fishing by the shore. They tell you about someone who may need your help. Acquire another customer. I know I shouldn't complain about getting to help people in a game that's about helping people, but my goodness, so many needy people. Okay. We're going to scroll down to the end here and acquire a customer. So this is customer 3. How many do you really need? Customer number 3 will be bit poetic, please. Will be a magical creature. Oh, that's an interesting one. So a magical creature is hoping that I will help them. So this is a magical creature in a lake area, so it's going to be some kind of giant water snake. Yes, I approve completely of helping a magical giant water snake who is going to offer me an ingredient from a completely different area. I suppose it's not a purely aquatic giant water snake, who offers a heart ingredient, an earth ingredient. If I can be so kind of as to cure there, I am really looking forward to what kind of stupidity the dice give me. Because let's be honest here, having a giant water snake try and explain its malady to somebody. 4. We've had that one before. That that is another person who is having problems with fairy dust. Now, what I was hoping for, I'm going to go ahead and admit, what I was hoping for was this one. I wanted to have received a message from somebody saying, "Oh no, there is out there in the marsh a giant water snake that has been turned into a frog." How do you figure out which giant water snake specifically is the one that has been turned into a frog? I mean, it's like, are they going to have a special "I used to be a giant water snake" flag? Um, I I don't know if that's something that traditionally happens or not. I can't say that I've heard of very many giant water snakes um, being turned into amphibians in stories. But yeah, I need another thing of oops, offering one random ingredient for curing their allergies to fairy dust. Okay, so I now need 2 bottles of this iron mist. So I need 2 queen cards. So you guys are being just a little bit annoying with your needs here. Okay. Um so I have 3 and 1 extra if I want it. Let's go ahead and go to our next encounter. And our next encounter is a 9, which is just finding an ingredient. I'll take it. Okay, this is another twig. I don't know if it's a magical twig, an exciting twig, or just a twig I found that I can use to stir my concoctions, but that's what I found. Okay, I need to. I'm in a position, more to the point, to go ahead and get one of these potions done. So let's go ahead and go to our next encounter here. And that has given us an 11. An 11 is another find ingredient. And this time, I have found bark. Bark of some tree. Maybe the same tree that I've been finding twigs from. Maybe not. We don't know. It's a mystery to everybody. Or it's not a mystery to anybody. And you just don't care. Okay. I currently have 5 and 1 more card. And of course, I'm saying "and 1 more" because that Joker can be used as a wild card. So if I need, I can use it instead of the queen. So we're going to go ahead and have an encounter here in the heart region of the mire. Because if I can get another ingredient, that'll make things easier. Okay, that is a 9. 9 is find an ingredient. That'll make things easier. Come on. Okay, it's more bark, which is overall worse than its bite. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go home. And while I am at home, there are 2 things I can do. Step 1 is that I can forget what step 1 is. Okay, the first thing I can do is brew a potion. So, I'm actually going to take advantage of the fact. Why are you? I don't. What are you doing? Thank you. Playing a tabletop simulator. Go ahead and spread these out for myself. Okay, so we will bring back the lovely, lovely, lovely book. So once again, our fuzzy leaf broth, which is what the first one was looking for, and they were offering me the brum juice, which would be interesting because that would allow me to go to another region. So one of the cards has to be a diamond, and we've got that right here. Stack that on there. That was a twig in the diamond. I need to keep that for the next one. So let's go ahead and do a 4. I now have plenty of diamonds. There's another diamond, and it literally does not matter one whit what I actually do. Because although they've been given fluffy little names, they are all just ingredients in general. So, really question if I want to use my seed. That sounds wrong. I think I will. Okay, so that's going there. This is going into the discard for the diamonds. This is going into the discard for the hearts. This is going into the. I swear I had another card. Well, I just knocked myself over, and it looks like the board is trying really hard to fall off the table. So that's funny. Okay, I was got enough place for it. There is too much table on this table. I'm going to shrink the game board down a little. No, I can't do that. But he could do that. And he did do that. So that was done. Yep. The whole pile. There's that. And there's that. And now, if I throw these somewhere, I'm just trying to make everything look nice for the viewers. Why won't you look nice for the viewers? Now I can't see the book. Okay, now that I have absolutely no idea where I actually am anymore, and I've thrown my house underneath the map. You get into your proper position. You get into your proper position. Yes, I have made it work. Okay. Where was I? Right. I made my first potion, so I now have 2 things of that broom juice, what I was offered for being kind to customer number 1. Okay. So now I can go ahead and make one of the other potions by using a spade. The other Joker is a wild card, and it's 5. Yes. And then I can grab one of these and hope that it's a queen, because that's what I need for the other one. Flip. It was not. It is a 5 as well. What did I say a 5 was? A 5 is a seed. We are very excited by seeds. Okay. Actually, these could be face-up cafe. No one cares about your discards. Little smaller. Little smaller. Smaller. Little smaller. Little smaller. There we go. That's perfect. So now I've got my board all set up. I've got this random squiggle from when I was trying to draw the map before. And now my map is clearly visible. Much better. Okay. Top of that. Okay. Well, are you there? Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Now everything is on the screen as it should be. Okie dokie. Since I am home, I can go ahead and rest for the most part. That means little, but I do have the opportunity to reset my jokers so I can use them later. I think that because I have been through quite a few of the encounters in this particular region, I am going to go ahead and use one of those broom juices, and go ahead and change maps here. So my character is on their way to Greenwood. Where do I want to start? I'm going to go ahead and start in this little puddle on the side of this forest. Okay. So, a new location has been found, and a new hand touches the beacon. If you have ever touched a computer and you don't get that reference, I am impressed. Congratulations. Okay. So I am in the Greenwood. I am in a diamond section. This gives us some new options for the moment. And we will roll the dice and see exactly what happens. 5, 6, 7. Find an ingredient in the diamond regions. Okay, the ingredient is a 6. I'm looking for a queen. I also need some spades. So let's go ahead and walk out into that region. Change my encounter list and 7 again. Find ingredient. Spades are not a problem. What will it be? It will be a 7. A 7, according to my handy dandy chart, is a root of some kind. We'll go ahead and assume that since it's what my grim is made of for some reason, it's a peachwood root. Because why not? That's definitely 2 words that I can spring together. I feel like I haven't been into a club area, so let's go clubbing, I guess. Still in the spades for now, though, so let's go ahead and see what Mr. Random Encounter has for me. It is a field of daisies. I may decide to take a break here, but that provides me with no advantage since I can't make a potion. So let's step further in. And this brings us to the club region. Okay. No, that's the mire. I'm not in the mire anymore. I've moved. I'm in Greenwood. Greenwood Club. I feel like I should be making, like, electronica noises in the background here. 8. Find an ingredient. The game is being kinder to me now. And an ace can be used as any rank. So technically, this can be used to replace that queen I'm looking for. I can finish that second customer. Let's go ahead and keep looking for a customer, though, because I have no idea if there's a win condition here. Do I do stuff until I'm ready to be done, or... Yes. That is exactly what this is. This is, as expected, an open-ended, lovely, cozy game. So we are going to Stardew Valley up in this. Okay. Let's go to the next region, or next space in the same region, which is an ingredient. Hi. I'm having many ingredients available to me, so that's nice. I want to go into the more wooded area now. Apparently, there is one ruin in each location. So right now I'm looking for 5 or 9, to be honest. I smell toast. There's a joke about that, isn't there? 6789. Acquire a customer. Let's see who we are adding to our repertoire here. This is going to be our fourth customer of the evening. Take care of you. Customer 4. Customer 4 is a person who does not believe in potion healing or the healing powers of potions. We will simply call them a skeptic. This poor skeptic is willing to offer me. All right, there's a little bit of a conflict here. They don't believe in the healing power of potions, but they somehow have gotten their hands specifically on a potion which is designed to make brooms fly. Does that make sense? No. Is that okay? Yes. Skeptic offers 1 bottle broom juice if I can help them with their horrible malady of a 12 has fallen in an endless slumber. So, if I continue using the tenses I did, then our skeptic has been wandering the countryside looking for a cure for the fact that they have fallen asleep forever. Are they sleepwalking? Is that what we're dealing with here? I'm going to say that they actually are getting this as a cure for someone else, but I am also amused from a game master perspective of the interesting dilemma of the sleepwalking quest. Hi, I need of endless slumber. Okay. I mean, I don't sleepwalk, so I don't know much about if it causes any interesting reactions or not, but it certainly does seem like a difficult one to get much information about. But then again, I was previously hoping that I would be asked to find a magic water snake that had been turned into a frog. Okay. The endless slumber has to be fixed by Frostwind. Frostwind should not be confused with the weapon from World of Warcraft. This may be extremely disappointing to some people. Frostwind. Frostwind, of course, can be used to freshen breath, just like any other frosty thing. It can give one an energy boost or awaken one from slumber, which actually is the same as giving one an energy boost, to be honest. So, Frostwind requires 3+ cards, at least 1 spade. And I currently have 1. So that works out really good for me. If I had my character fly back now, they could make that potion. They could make both potions. I should do that. Okay. So, I am going to remove one of the broom activations from my now currently invisible character sheet. And we are going to move from the Greenwood map back to the Mire map. And we're going to land it right back home. So I just go ahead and straight up discard all of my ingredients. Helping both customers. And that replaces my one thing of broom juice, what I just used to get back home. I helped the one who was giving me specifically a heart potion. I don't need anything specific right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and randomize up in this. Let's get a nice metal four-sided die here. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and easy. The die has decided that I am guessing a 6 of clubs. A 6 of clubs is allegedly some kind of grass. It may be that kind of grass. We will probably see when we discover what potion exactly I need to use it for. Only time will tell. Okay. I am back home. I did not do anything here in the club region, so let's go ahead and start walking through the water to fix that. My first encounter after getting back home. How sweet. The mire? The diamond part of the mire? Please don't be here again. I only have one item. I don't want it stolen. Is that wrong? 12. Looking down at your reflection in the marshy waters, you notice that the face looking back at you has an eerie smile. The longer you look at it, the more horrified you become. But you cannot look away. Suddenly you wake and find yourself back at home. You have lost half of your ingredients at random, rounded down if you have an odd number. So I have one ingredient. One divided by 2, rounded down, is 0. So that was a very exciting sounding, but unfortunately for the spooky apparition, not very exciting roll there. Okay, this time we have a 6. After you are flying over the water, as you are flying over the water, your broom gets caught in reeds and you fall in. Describe what you see beneath the surface. Okay, this is again the exciting part of the solo role playing game where you are asked by prompts to come up with specific things. Now, in the previous encounter, I ended up seeing a spooky apparition which looked like me until it knocked me unconscious and I returned home. I believe it's safe to say that if there's anything that I was seeing here under the water, then it's probably going to be related to that, which probably means that it's some kind of corpse, um, something that would have produced this specific kind of apparition. Um, so it's a shape changing apparition. And although it's not completely dangerous. It is upset. Um, I'm going, since we've run into them so often, I'm going to say that it's a murdered Seelie, as there is the Seelie court, which is the Fae who are more of the light aligned stuff, the nice ones. And then there's the Unseelie. The Unseelie, dead or alive, would be doing um, very malicious things, wouldn't have survived. So, absolutely, someone from the Seelie court who has been killed, which probably explains why there's so many problems with people, things, etc. Uh, Finding out about their allergies to fairy dust and why it's such a big problem. Okay, that finishes that encounter. Just a little creative exercise. That brings us up here into the club section of the Myers. The Meyer, singular. 10. You hear something or someone scrambling through the reeds behind you. Acquire a customer. It's a dead fave. That's the main thing I can think of. Scrambling through the reeds behind me. But let's go ahead and go back to our random customer table. This will be customer 5. Customer 5. I think I'm going to go ahead and say I'm playing to 6 customers helped. I like the sounds of that. Okay. Our newest customer is a person who is afraid of magic. This sounds like an absolutely perfect place to be if you're afraid of magic. Um, like we have a definite fairy problem. We have a strange witch who lives in the mire, which again is one of 3 regions untouched by magic. So yeah, I'm not blaming them. Um, this magic fearing person wishes to offer me fame. I can get another customer. Um, so this is a test. This is a test. If I can make this magic fearing customer trust me, then they will send me to another a contact if I can cure them of. I really like to go ahead and just see what the dice are going to say before I actually start the roll. That is very disappointing. They are lost in a mire and prone to dehydration. That's called rabies. This magic fearing person is also water fear. No, I'm that sounds terrible. Um, they're just thirsty all the time, and they need some. What was that? Fuzzy leaf broth. Fuzzy leaf broth is something that I did before. It requires 4 ingredients. 4 ingredients. And one of those ingredients must be a diamond. So let's see. I have slightly less than 4 ingredients. Of course, it's not like the diamonds are too hard for me to try and get back to. So, let's go ahead and explore one more section of the mire before I move back into the water area. And this provides us with the number 10, which is another customer. I'm going to pretend that didn't happen. 8. A magical swamp creature oozing with mud strolls slowly towards you. What does it want? What do you do? Okay. So around here was where we found the dead Fae, as the story went. I believe that this is probably the troll that slew that Fae. And I assume that. Oh. Okay. 50-50 chance. I roll high. It wants to follow suit with me. I roll low. And it needs help with something. I rolled high. It wants the same with me. So I need to go ahead and use one of my teleportation potions to get out of Doge. Okay. Which I have now successfully done. My new encounter will be I'm not doing a 10. I am not doing a 10, please. 7. You see a sudden ghostly light in the sky, a will-o-the-wisp. It grants you a random sunlight-infused ingredient if you are playing this game during the day, or a random moonglow-infused ingredient if you are playing this game after dark. I am looking at a nice bright blue sky, so I'm going to assume that makes it daylight. So that is a club. And that is a queen. That would have been really useful before, but who am I to complain? Me. I'm me. I'm the guy currently playing this game and doing this stream. So that's who. Okay. We pass therefore into the windy reaches. I guess that makes it mountains. Yes. 9. Find an ingredient. Thank you. Don't mind if I do. Okay. And a club isn't, or a spade is not what I'm looking for. Let's continue down this path. 5. Find an ingredient. Thank you. Yes. Find another map. 5, 6, 7. You didn't actually move, silly person. The wind blows sand into your eyes. When you blink them open, you see a tall dragon towering over you. You blink again and it is gone. Must this have been a mirage or something? Dragons have been extinct for hundreds of years. That's probably a good excuse to get out of the windy regions because apparently it's causing me to lose my mind. That puts us into the heart section. 11. You walk down a hill. At the bottom is a large ancient oak tree with the ability to communicate with other beings. What do you talk to it about? Um, I live in this region, so running across a talking oak tree is probably nothing new. Um, this, I mean, this is really close to the witch's hovel, of course, right here. Um, I think this is just a nice, friendly conversation with an old friend. How the soil has been, all that sort of stuff. Just a friendly chat. Go ahead and take that as an excuse to head down into the Moonglow region. 5, 6, 7, 8. An ingredient, which is exactly why I'm here. And it's another ace. So one more step this way. 3, 4. You spot a gray horse-like creature, a kelpie, in the distance. The terrifying creature lunges towards you, forcing you to flee. Move on to an adjacent hex space and roll for a new encounter. I believe that it would be cheating, but hilariously cheating, if I went ahead and fled to my own house. Since I moved from here, this seems like a much more logical spot to go. 11. Your satchel falls into the water. Before you can scoop it back, some of the sugar glass specimen jars begin to dissolve. Lose 2 ingredients at random. That is extremely upsetting. Go ahead and flip that over and shuffle it up. Okay, card number 1, card number 2. So these I keep. So the first is that ace of spades, and then there's a 6 of spades that I've lost, and that is also disappointing, but I still have the diamond that I need. So I can still, if I get one more ingredient, I can still do my 5th customer's potion. So we roll the dice, and that gives us a 6. As you're flying low over the water, a creature in the lake grabs you and drags you in. What kind of creature is it? What do you do? So it grabs me. I'm extremely tempted to make a bitter joke about alligators, but I'm not going to do that. We've established that there's trolls in this region. I fled from the previous one, so it's probably the same troll. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the same thing I did before and use that to teleport me to safety. And apparently, flying over this lake is starting to get problematic. So let's get out of the aforementioned lake. Did I just do a Greenwood encounter instead of the Mire encounter? Yes, I did. That's silly. Um, Go ahead and roll the dice. And that gives us an 8. A snake skin on the ground blocks your path. It is several meters long and wider in diameter than yourself. Move back 1 space and roll for a new encounter. That's funny because I teleported here. No, I didn't. I stepped here. I remember that now. But that would put me back into the Mire's water section. So I'll go ahead and have another encounter in the water. And that gives us a 10. You happen upon someone fishing by the shore. I said no. 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 Boo. Okay, the I already did a story about me seeing a dead fairy. So I think we're going to continue with our story of the troll, and my reaction would just be to try and move on. 7. A heron takes off with one of your specimen jars. I don't like these herons. So now, I have to find more ingredients. Okay, 6 of clubs. We'll go ahead and put it into that. So, yeah, I used to have 3 ingredients. Okay, I can just move on to there so I can get my teleportation back. And I'm going to go ahead and be paranoid and making sure that I remember correctly about the Joker. Now I'm afraid that I made up a major part of how I've been playing it. Elemental elixirs. Yeah, I probably cheated there. A mistake. Okay. So that means that I have a lot more ingredients I need to look for. I don't necessarily want to go to another region, but I have rum juice will travel, right? Okay. We've done the green wood. Let's go to the dragon spine. And since I enjoyed being in the one place so much, let's just randomly go to this spot here. Okay, dragon spine. Move this over a bit. Dragon spine, dragon spine, dragon spine. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, actually, I need to roll 2 dice. So if you could pick up both dice, that would be great. 2 plus 1 equals 3. Find an ingredient. That would be this kind of thing. It gives me 3 ingredients, which is lovely. Okay, into this spade section. Remember to spay and neuter your dragon spines. 7. A troll. Oh, trolls again. A troll chases you down a mountainside. As you hop onto your broom and fly away, you lose an ingredient. So that's that queen that I had earlier. Do another club encounter. That is an 8. You find a sunny area to picnic. If you wish, you may rest here, but that doesn't let me make potions, so not at this time. Okay, this large section of wind. No, we roll both of them at the same time. Thank you. 3. Find an ingredient. I'm in the spade section. Find an ingredient. Okay. Oh, not the map. Move token. Then we roll the dice. And we got a 4, which is another ingredient. Lovely. Okay, so now I have 4 ingredients. So what I see here is that if I keep going in the spady regions, I might be able to find I may be able to find a ruins, and I would be able to make potions from there. That is probably a terrible way of trying to do things, but yeah. Okay, go ahead and shuffle this up. 10. A recent avalanche blocks your path. So I have to go back where I was before. 6, 7, 8. It was not that bad an idea. It seems to have worked out just fine. You stumble upon a waterfall on the edge of a cliff. Behind it, you can see a cave and possibly some large metal objects. See ruins. Page 29. You step closer and see a furnace and various sugar glass flasks and chemical setups. Long abandoned, judging by the amount of debris and plant life that also fills the cave. You can use the equipment in the cave to convert any one ingredient of one suit into a new ingredient of that suit. Simply discard a card and draw another from the same suit to replace it, or I can brew any potions if I have the ingredients. That is what I'm going to do. Which allowed me to make the fuzzy leaf broth that a magic-fearing commoner sent my way, which means that they have sent a new patient my way. Yep, that's the wrong side. I start from here. Okay. This will be the final customer of the evening. So, our final customer of the evening will be a traveler. That is a very popular and very logical occupation. The traveler wishes to offer me a reward of... Well, that's nice. I can use the... It's offering me broom juice, which I can use to get back home. And all I have to do is cure their unsightly problem with 9. Why can't I get a 2? A 2 is I've been turned into a frog. Really? Really? I do all this prepping and planning. I do all this talking and hoping, and they have sore muscles. Okay, I could technically fix that with just a bottle of oil, but no, we're going to go ahead and make them a magical potion for this. This is a very disappointing. I've had this fox with me this entire time. I could have had this fox distract the trolls and help me I wouldn't have it by the troll. That would be bad. Um, but yeah, I've completely forgotten about the poor little puppy. I know the foxes are not puppies. That was a joke. The fact that I called it a puppy was part of the joke. Okay, in order to ease muscle pain, we need 3 or more cards, including a 5 and a 7. It does not matter what the suit is. I just need a 5, a 7, and something else. I am not going to use my jokers for this one because that was cheating and bad, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm very sorry. I apologize to Slug People Games for coming up with this theory that I should just toss the jokers aside. Okay, so I'm going to start off with an encounter in the soil regions. Uh, I'm still re-rolling customers. 6, 7, 8. A herd of tiny rock-like creatures follows you as you fly through the air. Once you land, they drop to the ground immobile. What are they? What do they want? They drop to the ground immobile. Um, Tiny rock-like creatures. I am going to say that they'd have to be some kind of imp. Um, are maybe not an actual demonic type of imp, but probably some kind of elemental imp from, well, the elemental plane of Earth. Would probably explain why they are rock-like creatures. Um, and if they are following me while I'm on the room, they probably just need something to help them get around. And I think that now that I have remembered that I have a fox, I am going to set them up in a little pouch on the fox so that they can travel with him for a bit. Okay, that takes me into this little tiny pond. Double sixes. Find an ingredient. This is the tiny little pond. That is an 8. I needed 5 and 7. So, or an ace. An ace will also work according to the rules of the game. Let's head back this way. Brings us back into the heart table. What interesting story do we have? Pause in the shade of a rocky outcropping. If you wish, you may rest here. That's very nice, but I don't currently need to. 5, 9. Find an ingredient. And this is in the heart region. It's kind of hard to keep track when it's this large a section. That is a 7. So all I need is a 5 and somewhere to brew the potion, of course, and I'll be all set. Go back here. Back here? You haven't been there before. You're talking crazy, man. You emerge on a mountain peak after a long climb. The sunlight overhead is almost blinding. Describe the view from up here. Um, I mean, I can see all the way to this tiny little lake here. Most of what I'm seeing here is just mostly barren lands. Like there's plenty of earth to where you could be planting things, but unfortunately, no one's decided to take advantage of it. I mean, there's the occasional other mountains, these spade sections here, but mostly it's just unnecessarily abandoned. It would be good to try and get people to move back into Dragonspine, where they will be able to toil and restore the area. So having moved down into or up to another section of mountain, I do find an ingredient here, and that is not the 5 I was looking for. So I must continue onward. 4. Oh, no, this isn't swamp. This is... Or find the ingredients. This is the heart section. That is a 10. A 10 is also not a 5. Today has been very educational. We move, then we roll, silly person. 7. 7 is another ingredient. Lovely. Not what I need, but lovely nonetheless. 6. 6 is a queen. I needed that earlier. This is not the earlier. You can tell because it's now later than the earlier was. Continuing this way, just for giggles. 6, which is an ingredient. Again, not the right number of ingredient. Okay, I am curious if I'm even going to find a 5. Okay, yes. There's at least a 5 in the clubs. So let's go ahead and roam into there. Ah! And let's go ahead and throw the map on the ground. That's exactly what I need to do. 6 again. Find an ingredient. That is an 8. That is a lovely number, but not the one we're looking for. I don't know if it's actually a number, a lovely number or not, to be honest. No, not just flip. Row 3. Find an ingredient. Where were all these rolls earlier when I was completely lost? Back up into the hills. Check one thing real quick. Okay. So, having reread something, It looks like I can use one of the elemental elixirs to actually teleport to the various regions of the mountain, not just the connected sections. So that's nice. Where am I? I'm on a spade section. Okay. Six. Six is an ingredient. Six is a 10. I need a 5 or an ace. Let's wander back into the sunny part of the mountain. And that is an ingredient from you. Back into the hills proper, the windy sections, as it were. And that is an 8, which is a sunny air. No, we moved out of that section. I can't figure out what. That's just a nice waterfall. I can't figure out what screen I'm supposed to be on at any time. All right. Back onto the sunny areas, and that gives me a 3, which is an ingredient. Come on. That is just two different numbers I am asking for. Well, that puts me back in the mountains. All right. Snake Eyes. As I said before, I am currently skipping customers. I already have one. 4 is an ingredient. 4. A magical number, apparently. Let's step back out into the parts for a moment. That gives me an 8. More of the little rock-like creatures that I saw before, and they are still hoping to get my attention. So I'm going to have this small civilization ending up in the pack of my fox. Move down one more. And see what encounter I have. An encounter with a tasty ingredient. And that is a jack. There are nothing in the rules that says that my witch cannot have 52 different ingredients. The odds are slim, but the rules don't care. Okay. Let's go back into the sunny regions. A 7. You slip while climbing. Lose an ingredient at random. If you have no ingredients to discard, do nothing. Oh, I have ingredients to discard. Put that away, and we're going to go ahead and place bets. I need this 7. So the odds are nearly 1 in 1 that that is the card that I'm going to lose. The next card that I find will therefore be the 5 that I was looking for. But you... Thank you. I don't know what the cards are doing. Okay, shuffle, shuffle. And I have lost Drum roll. Okay. The cards do not hate me that much. Here. And I flip them all. Okay, but seriously, why is this one? Sometimes crooked cards happen, I suppose. Okay. I've hidden my PDF. There you are. My stream no work. What stopped working? Interesting. Okay, well, it looks like at some point, tragically, I lost my access to Twitch. So I'll just go ahead and stop that one. It can be a bait rate issue. I will look into that. Let's see if anyone else is seeing me. Do I see me? I see me. Okay. There are some places where I can be seen. So that's lovely. Let's go ahead and close that one, I guess. Where was I? I forgot. Okay. I had just slipped while climbing up this cave. Okay, 3 is find an ingredient. We are running out of ingredients to find. That is a 3. I just need a 5. Just need a 5. Go ahead and let's go splash in the water of the dragon spine. Haven't done that much. 7. A giant lake creature jumps out of the water and snaps its jaws around you, which is why I have these teleporting potions. So I can use this to get me to any let's use that one. Water Drake. That's like a good name of a creature that might have jumped out of me in the dragon spine. Not a real dragon, but a dragon adjacent wee beastie. So I'm in this new water section, and 8. An unexpected snowstorm ruins 2 of your specimen jars. I'm going to hit shuffle 3 times, and the first 2 are the ones that I've lost since I just figured out I can do that. Oh, that's flip. Let's try actually doing what I'm trying to do. Okay, so we have this 8. Oh, come on. Let go. You must let go. And this Jack of Spades. Why are you trying to go kitty wampus? There we go. All better. Okie dokie. So I fled one monster only to get into a snowstorm. A place called Dragon Spine doesn't seem like the place you get a snowstorm. I mean, there's almost no water around. You would think that it would be safe from snow. Mostly fire around here, I think. So let's see. Hearts. Not in the mire, in the Dragon Spire. That is a 9, which is a new ingredient. Have to keep traveling through the Badlands, the Wastelands, the Dirt Lands, as the abbreviation is telling me to call it. That gives me a 12, which is another ingredient. Come on, we have 2 left. It's an ace. An ace is good. Okay, so now what I am going to be doing is trying to find that ruins that I found before, which means I want to be on the spade section and I want to roll an 8. An 8 is not too bad a number to hope for, but not necessarily one that I should strongly expect. Because dice hate you. They always hate you. It doesn't matter if you're the player or the game master, they always hate you. Having said that, I enter a cave system and begin walking through the tunnels, soon ending up lost. That makes absolute perfect sense since I'm looking for a very specific location. How do you find your way out? So, I've picked up these little tiny rock elementals or earth elementals. I've been letting them rest and travel with me, and I think it's time that I make them return the favor. So, yeah, I don't know if it's simply that they are more familiar with the region than I am, or if it's something like they can talk to the rocks themselves to find out where we should be, but they are able to get me back to where I need to go, which means that I can head over here. Try over here for my cave. I'm re-rolling customers. It's too late for customers. 6. 6 would be an ingredient. I really don't need an ingredient, but an ingredient I have been given nonetheless. So I will continue my wandering this away. And that is a 7. It's a bloody troll. Not bloody enough. Chases me down a mountain, which causes me to drop one of my potion bottles. There we go. And the one. Don't be greedy, game. Okay. Wandering further in the mountains. That is a double 4. You stumble upon a waterfall. On the edge of a cliff behind it, you can see a cave and possibly some large metal object. That brings me back to the ruins where there is all sorts of stuff for me to make potions with. For the any spice I need for my customer, I need a 7. I need a 5, but I can replace that with an ace. And, oh, I don't know. We'll go ahead and use that queen card. So that is that customer taken care of. And I'll just go ahead and make a potion to get me back home. And that, as they say, is an evening well spent. So, if you have watched this now or in the future, this has been the game Mortar and Pestle by Slug People Games, a lovely little light-hearted potion-making game about trolls attacking me on a regular basis for some reason. And I know that when I was back in the mire, the trolls weren't even my idea. Weren't even their idea. No, I decided, oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do trolls. I'll just randomly have this monster be a troll. That sounds great. Let's go ahead and start there. So, yeah, that's how I roll, I guess. I have been Screaming Wyvern. This has been Solo Role-Playing Game Thursday, and as always, remember to be one of the good ones because there are way too many of the bad. And I will return next week, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. I hope to see you then.